That was a
And we're
joke.
live. Rena offered me pills.
Yep.
Knowing that I'm a recovery addict. That is just shitty.
You want some? I got the good stuff. I got the
Now,
celery.
Dude, I could used to tell you like something. You shake a fucking. I'll be like, okay, that's store test.
That's 5 milligrams of Percocet in a vial that's 7 millimeters in diameter, but by 15
one of them's got a chip
high.
off. One of the pills has got a chip off of it.
One of them's missing a 0.3 gram chunk.
So we are live. This is the wood where you get what, Raisin?
Wood, it's so good.
Indeed. How you doing, John Morgan?
I'm doing fine.
You're doing fine.
I could be doing better.
So why am I the only mug on the camera?
Because
you're the handsome one.
I am the handsome one. Of these three fucking dudes, I'm definitely the handsome one.
I don't know. When I had my trip to New York and I was posting all my selfies and stuff, people said that I looked really good.
That's good, John.
And people said they didn't know I was so attractive.
Oh.
Who said that, John?
Who said that? Shabisky?
I want names, and I want screenshots and evidence to back this assertion up.
Well, a lot of people don't know what I look like on camera and stuff.
You're not a bad
turn
looking
the camera
dude.
on then if you think you're so hot.
He's not a bad looking dude at all. He's all right. John's all right.
What you're saying is, John, that you're a bit of man candy. Is that what you're saying?
That's what other people say, not me.
Turn your camera on, Mandy.
Man candy.
So I guess I should go ahead and just say, because we don't have a lot of people in this anyway, ever no more. Next week, folks. Next week is the last week of the wood ever.
We're killing it.
It's the end of an era.
Old Yellow's frothing at the mouth, so we're going to take around the back of the shed and boom.
Yeah. I've got just too much. I got a lot on the table right now.
It's called nearly 1 million subscribers on TikTok.
It's almost a million. I'm 912 last month.
Hey, Auntie Susan, you kind of got your wish, but it kind of didn't go exactly like you're planning. Like you were trying to make folks like Pimp destitute, homeless, broke, starving, living under bridges and shit. Well, turns out that the Chinese Communist Party of all people have come to save a bunch of Americans from being in the gutter. Well, never saw that coming. Holy crap.
And dude, there's just about every YouTuber's on there now. But I am creating, there's going to be some new stuff. And, if you want to be a part of something different, something not Mr., anti-state religion, none of that crap, just funny comedy, goofy comedy, then you can, it'll be unveiled next week, most likely. Something new. There should be a Twitch channel also.
How much drama will there be?
There will be absolutely no drama. Not an ounce of it. Not on purpose anyway. I do still got my mouth. I ain't gonna.
Not if I can help it.
At times I do, step back into the.
No, it's. I've been trying really hard to just be not so much of an asshole, and I've been doing an okay job. Pip can go and look at the band list. It's been a while since I added a flurry of names to it like I used to. It's like, that used to be my hobby, but hey, things change. And I think I banned everyone on the fucking internet at least once now, so we're just getting hard to get fresh kills. So
yeah, well, yeah. It's just, I'm like, it's time to move on from this because there's, like I said, there's a lot on the table, doing other things. A lot of shit happening right now behind the scenes.
when did you kick this all off? Like the Pimpmunk stuff on YouTube? It was what 2015, 24?
Yeah, 2014, 2014, I think.
Right,
When I
and
first really started doing it.
I was hanging out not long after you're around 2,000 subs when I started chilling in your chat, and it was all around the time of the water-headed thing on Old Mate, and that's how we got talking. Because I was dumping horrible amounts of shit on Brett Keane in his chat, just reading, going, and Pim went, "Hey, don't pick on his kids, man. It's not cool." I went, "Yeah, all right. Fair point."
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking nice. I'm still trolling the shit out of people like Brett Keane and that. Like, my new fun thing is this fucking nightmare name Adrastia. If people are familiar with the name, they'll know. And there's this other one called Love Notes for TLC. What a train wreck that is. So that's I've been shit posting on their pages. It's great.
Yeah.
Graduated from college in 2014. It scares me that was 8 years ago.
Yeah. That's frightening that I've been hanging around on YouTube in one way or the other for this long.
Yeah, dude, it's been a long time. And I've been doing the wood now for shit. I don't even know how many years.
Well, I was basically on board with the wood really early.
Yeah.
You got
the first host was Shayra. Yep. It was me and Shayra, and then me, you, and Luna for a long time. And then Missy and Shabisky came along, and then Miss Raisin, and you came back. And
we've had the Dirt coming in, doing some
Dirt,
stuff.
yeah, did a lot of stuff with. Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, well,
but it's just came to its point, and next week we will be doing a Monday show and a Thursday show just like regular, but next Thursday show is the last one. So.
We're gonna make like a montage, like a compilation of different notable events throughout the wood with some sad music in the background.
No, we're not.
That sounds like it would take effort and editing, and we don't do that here, John. That's not what
that's what I'm about to start doing is effort.
Yeah, the motto of the wood is, sadly, since Bull's passed, the motto of the wood's been, let's just phone this shit in.
Yeah. And now he gets a big shout out. Bull's
look, it changed the trajectory of the show, and we'll miss him forever. And I'm always going to keep talking about him and tell people to raise their glass and fill up their bowl and light a big fatty for that freaking pimp daddy.
He was awesome. He was awesome. He was a great guy. He had a good sense of humor. And he was a cool guy. And he was a big part of the show for a long time. And he did a really good producing of the show too. I didn't know none of that shit. And he did a good job. And then he died on us, and so he will definitely be missed and
never be forgotten. And we will always charge our glasses and fill our bowls to the brim and smoke and drink in his name, because he's a freaking legend.
That's right. He was. I'm doing the King Beard as voice right now. I don't know why. The King, but King Beard does have kind of. I taught I did a lot.
I followed you on TikTok. I'm going to TikTok. Having a difficult time finding you.
Skeptical Jesus here. What's up, Skeptical?
Oh, it ain't Pimpmunk no more. Pimpmunk account's gone. They deleted that motherfucker again yesterday. It's gone.
Shab always asks me to like his videos and stuff, so I rarely ever log into TikTok.
But it's King Beard now on there. King Beard X. I always gotta put the X in that motherfucker for some reason. But yeah, so
and there's a King Beard X too.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's my backup account. I'm gonna build that motherfucker in case this one gets cut off.
Follow King Beard X. Are you gonna follow me back, Pim?
Because I'm actually on uploading suspension until 1:00 in the morning. I've been on there for a couple of days. I mean, I've been live every day. I was able to go live. I just wasn't able to upload because of a video I did back a few months ago.
Wait, what? So they ban you from uploading little shorts, but you can still fucking go. Oh, okay. Look,
yeah,
that's weird. But you know what? Good for them for being different.
Yeah.
Hey,
And they
I
just
just thought of your ultimate nightmare, Pimp. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning and Auntie Susan announces, I'm leaving YouTube because I've just been offered a job at TikTok.
oh gosh,
I'll
that would be horrible.
hear the southern squeal of horror from fucking down under.
Yeah. That would be horrible. Even though they're pretty strict on TikTok, but it's just I mean, the strict rules was one thing, but how Susan just cut people off, like giving them no platform. I mean, she basically shut the small YouTuber down.
Well, you think about what she did to this day to get YouTube's attention, and they are fucking aware of this, and she even admitted that's a serious problem we need to work on. They haven't worked on. To get YouTube's attention, you have to post on Twitter. And you have to get the attention of some big fucking social media users that have a really large following on YouTube. All of a sudden, your problem gets fixed. But if you don't get that lucky, you get fucking shafted up to the elbow, and they don't give a shit. Whereas TikTok, apparently, if you got a problem, you contact someone, and someone actually looks at shit reviews and goes, "Oh, seems to be a malicious attempt to take down your channel." Reverse, and they to be fair, they're not perfect, but they are better than YouTube, and they are refining the process, from what I understand. So, if TikTok can do it, you can do it too, Auntie Susan, surely, but it's not really going to matter anymore.
And the only people that's getting popular on YouTube is people that's coming over from TikTok for the popularity there. So,
what happens when TikTok grows in terms of its traffic and everything, and it rivals YouTube? Like, do you think we'll still have that quality of service?
Well, I'm about rivaling YouTube right now, but YouTube and Facebook has already lost money because of TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, that's known. You can look. I mean, traffic-wise, TikTok is pretty bad at this.
Google just needs to buy out TikTok.
I'm sure they've thought about it.
Elon Musk should try to buy out TikTok.
Elon Musk is full of crap, dude. Elon Musk, he's
going to colonize Mars before NASA does.
And it seemed like forever there, Elon was like untouchable, like by media. But now everything's coming out, and it's just, and that whole his father thing is creepy. That ain't his fault, but it's his father, having a baby with his stepsister. I don't know. It's just
two.
Yeah. And apparently she's what? How old is she? Like what?
Was it 36? I think I have to look.
And he's been with her since. They're pretty sure that it looks like it was since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
So that's pretty disturbing.
Ew.
Yeah, it is really ew. And that's what a lot of these older dudes don't realize. Like, it's not. No, even if it's not illegal, like there's a certain YouTuber. I'm not gonna mention his name, but he tweeted one time he only dates chicks under 20-something years old.
So it says he's 76, she's 34.
It's quite the age gap.
That is a big age gap.
Oh, that is. I think I know who you're talking about. I won't drop the name, but
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll type it in chat. Is it?
I mean, it's who you think.
That them?
No.
There you go. Those fucking idiots. Like, not mentioning names because but those fucking idiots. Of course, the other fucking idiot.
Yeah.
There can only be one fucking idiot, and that is the OG idiot.
He's on TikTok now too, by the way.
Of course he is. Look, here's the thing about that guy. He's making bank.
Oh yeah, he's been making money.
Skep. No comment. No comment. Giggle, no comment. Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Most people know what I meant. Yeah, because he's the one who made a tweet that time that said that. But, it just seems a little off that he does that. But, hey, it's not illegal, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
It'd be like raising going with me. I'm so much younger than she is.
Ew, so the girl's mother, it says that he said he married her mother when she was 25 and he was 45. So there was a 20-year age gap between the girl he's been impregnating and her mother.
Yeah.
When he was acting as her stepfather, because he was married to her mother. He was 20.
Yeah, it's a little off. It's definitely a little off.
Well, hey, and like in Dexter, didn't Deb have that relationship with the one forensics dude who was like 20 years older than her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm watching?
Support that relationship, huh?
You know what I'm rewatching right now, John?
What's that?
True Blood.
Ooh, I've never seen it.
You've never seen True Blood, right?
Yeah, it's on my list. So many shows to watch.
It's good. I like True Blood. I always like. Some people say, "Oh, it's shit." True Blood is not to be taken serious, right?
Currently,
it's kind of like tongue in cheek for most people. You ever seen it, Razor?
Yeah, I never really thought it was like...
Better Call Saul. Have you guys watched through the last season yet?
I have not watched any of the last season. I need to get to that. But what I'm waiting for is in a few days, the new Game of Thrones show starts.
I was never a big fan of.
Well, if you're a big fan, John, I am.
And
I even got HBO Max again so I can watch it. And plus, I always going back to HBO Max because at least once a year I watch Sopranos and I watch The Wire. Rewatch at least once a year, every year.
I'm waiting for Morgan Freeman's production company to announce.
You're really low, Red.
Oh, am I? Hold on.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Morgan Freeman's production company to announce the Necroscope stuff. There's an author named Brian Lumley who's written a massive series of books called The Necroscope. It's about vampires and shit. And there's nothing on the market like these like everything that's out there today is just, it's pretty fucking tame. Like this shit is next level stuff. And if it gets to film, and I'm hoping that's what the intention of Morgan Freeman's production company is to start making shit with because they've got the intellectual property rights to it apparently. The shit's going to blow people's minds when they see the Necroscope series, and then there's the Vampire World trilogy, which is about the original Necroscope's two sons, which it just takes it to another level again, and just gets fucking insane. There's Necroscopes that can communicate with the dead. There's all sort of psychics running around fighting for. There's the English espers, and then there's the Russian espers. So there's like these Russian and English espers fighting against each other, and they're all got this. They're trying to keep vampires out of our fucking world, and shit just gets fucking crazy. So fingers crossed that people get to see that. But if you want to read some books, it's called the Necroscope series, and then there's a Vampire World trilogy. Brian Lumley, get all the books. There's like last time I checked, there was.
What do you think about the new Lord of the Rings series that's coming on Prime? I'm interested.
I did just start reading the vampire. Like I just started reading the vampire series from like the movie Interview with Vampires based off of. And
that's a series. They're making a series on A&E about that. Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
No.
They are. There's going to be a televised series about Interview with the Vampire, which I'm also looking forward to because I love the movie.
Yeah, that was
Christina Dunst.
You want, buddy?
Who was the child actor? Was it a young?
What's her damn name?
I'm saying that's probably one of the best child performances that I've
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. Yes. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that was a great performance by that when she was a little girl. And that's a grown-ass woman.
And she's
But-
creepy as shit when she was good.
Yes, that was a good show. And there goes, that's another performance by Brad Pitt.
You're just in love with Brad
Tom
Pitt.
Cruise
I am in
and
love
You
Brad
want to
Pitt.
suck Brad Pitt's dick.
I know because I was talking about Brad Pitt Monday, man. I'm in love with Brad Pitt's acting. The son of a bitch is an amazing actor.
He
It's in
is pretty
Bucks,
damn
Pimp.
good. And he's adorable and endearing. And
Name me a movie that he was horrible in.
World War Z.
Who?
Nah, he was pretty fucking good to
He
sell
was
that
in
fucking
World
shit.
War
I
Z.
never even watched that film.
It wasn't the best writing, but he was good in it.
Yeah, I got to agree. It for what he had to work with, and the CGI fucking zombie shit. He sold that concept. Like I was on board for that. Right, I was like, this is pretty good. And the scene where he chops off the chick's arm, that was pretty freaking awesome.
He's an
That was-
intense actor, dude. He
Yeah.
really is. I mean, he's such a, and, you know, I know I want to hate on him because everybody loves him because of his looks and stuff, but you can't because he's such a good actor.
I haven't. He's made so many things, like, so I don't know.
Look at Seven, dude. He was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, his big
It's in the box.
pictures.
What's in the box? But you know, it didn't hurt. He was acting alongside one of the greatest actors of all time, Morgan Freeman.
What about Seven Monkeys?
You mean God?
12
That was a
monkeys.
damn
12
good movie.
Monkeys, yeah.
12 Monkeys was fucking awesome, dude. And his performance in 12 Monkeys was phenomenal.
Here's the thing: when you're in a movie with God, it's really hard to not look
Yeah.
fucking good. It's
Yeah.
like we must establish it as fact that Morgan Freeman is actually God, just walking amongst us, chilling
He's
out,
one of the
making
greatest.
fucking movies.
He's definitely one of the greatest. Definitely one of the greatest. Now, I think the God of acting, personally, in my opinion, it's got to be between two, De Niro and Pacino. You know, those two right there, man. I love
De
them.
Niro on that.
It's like directors. Who's the greatest director? Well, it's either Scorsese or Tarantino, in my opinion.
I think it's Lens Flare Boy, but that's just my opinion.
there's
mate.
well, a lot of people say it would be Kurosawa. What's his name? Kurosawa or whatever his fucking name is.
Kurosawa.
Kurosawa, yeah, Kurosawa. A lot of people say it's Kurosawa. And by the way, Kurosawa has some amazing movies. Amazing
Yeah,
movies.
I
But,
mean,
but I don't.
the art, sure. Like, you have to
Orson
respect
Welles.
the way
Arts,
that those are
but he
shot.
was a little
Like,
too artsy for me. In a way.
I would tend to agree with you there. Like, not all of them. Like, some of them that I've been recommended, I've really enjoyed, and other ones, I was.
See, John,
It's like watching. Like, see, I'm not into the West. Like, I like Two Mules for Sister Sarah, but that is the only Western I think I've ever watched and enjoyed. Like, of that.
I really like
time
that
genre.
movie.
I really do like that movie. I
It is
really do.
but
one
I
of the best
think. Go ahead, I'm
Clint
sorry.
Eastwood westerns.
Clint Eastwood is a fucking
That is
great
the-
director, by the way. He's a great director.
Oh well, yeah.
Directed
mean,
American Sniper.
Brad Pitt's done some producing and executive producing.
Yeah, but as far as directors wise, though, Clint Eastwood is pretty damn good.
Yeah, except when he's on a stage by himself with a chair, then things can go horribly wrong.
Well, yeah, but that's not directing.
No, I'm just.
but what's that movie? I always forget the name of it. But the one with Sean Penn in it and Kevin Bacon.
Oh, forget it.
Oh,
It's a really good
The
movie.
Bridges of Madison County. I'd say that's his best film.
No, that's not his best film. To me, now, Clint Eastwood's best film is
Mystic River.
Gran Torino.
Yeah, so, look, here's the thing about Clint Eastwood. Motherfucker's one of the only dudes in Hollywood that when he goes bang with a
Mystic
gun,
River.
you watch his eyes.
Mr.
Never blinks. Never
Yeah, that
flinches
was a
his
really good
eyes.
movie.
He's one of the only people in Hollywood that can get away with shooting a gun
you-
and not blinking.
Have y'all ever seen The Mule, that one he came out with not too long ago?
No.
It's a good movie.
Oh, that's
I think it's called The
My-
Mule.
My favorite Clint Eastwood film would be The Changeling.
It's
You guys
what?
seen that? The Changeling?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Fuck
That's,
yeah, dude, it's a great. Angelina Jolie was phenomenal in that fucking movie.
that was based on a true story about police corruption, the chicken coop
Yeah, where
murders.
they try to convince her that her kid was kidnapped, murdered. Well, they came up with this kid and tried to convince her that was her kid. This is real life shit, by the way. The cops came and found this kid and said, "This is your kid." And she's like, "No, that's not my kid." He's like, "Yeah, this is your kid." Her kid was kidnapped and murdered.
If she's a woman, what does she know? Clearly, the cops got their support.
This was real life. This really happened.
Yeah.
They really tried to convince this woman that her kid was this kid. And they knew. There was cops that knew it wasn't her kid.
Because they didn't want to look bad in front of the press, and being right's more important than the well-being of other people.
Did you see the two judges that were sentencing all the kids for fucking little shitty crimes to the for-profit prisons and were getting kickbacks?
No.
Well, there was, I think, 30-something parents were fucking going after them. They just got awarded hundreds of millions of dollars in compensation. So those judges are so fucking screwed. It's like they were sentencing kids for jaywalking, truancy, all of this shit that you just don't. They weren't even letting the kids say goodbye to their parents in the courtroom. They just slap the cuffs on them and drag them out of the fucking room and take them off to the profit prison. So there's a good reason to sweep the nation of America and take this for-profit prison system and shove it up the corporations' asses sideways and make it all state-run with really heavy regulation. Because here's a simple thing. For instance, I'll just put this out there. Imagine if you had a bunch of prisoners and instead of locking them up and just not give them a bit of weed, everyone comes the fuck down and wants to order a goddamn Domino's pizza, but at that point watch a Blu-ray, yeah,
well,
or watching Netflix.
Red Eye. How are you going to punish them by giving them weed? You're rewarding their bad
because
behavior.
it's not supposed to be punishment. I think America's missing the point about the rehabilitation part that they do in Europe and other places and have great success. But we won't talk about that.
Well, we're not about rehabilitation here.
No, but the two judges got fucking an ass whooping. It's like a big fuck you to the system. So
yeah, and guess what's happening now over here is all the kids are going back to school now, and
COVID.
It's like, oh God, when is it going to happen? That's seriously, that's what everybody's doing over here. Like, when's it going to happen? When's the new shooting? Because it happens every fucking year.
I wouldn't send my kids to school in America. I would.
If I had a child, they would not go to public school.
Yeah, look, I'm a paranoid freak, and like, I'd just go, "Hey, kids, you're going to school in another country."
It's just, I mean, look, it used to be
even
where
outside the shootings, like our school system, I think is pretty useless once you get past like elementary school. Because
our school system is very bad, dude. It's not good at all. And it's one thing is because there's too many kids in the fucking classroom.
Yeah, and the research shows that like the overwhelming majority of Americans, like they read and write at or below an 8th grade level. Their level of like mathematics and stuff is like at an elementary school level, like most
and
Americans.
That's because there's too many kids in one school,
yeah.
And that's just a fact. And because look, everybody learns different. Everybody's different. Everybody's mind works different, and you can't. Okay, in our schools, they all learn the same. The teacher has to teach all the kids the same way. Well, that doesn't. Our minds don't work that way. We're just not built to work that way. And then they want to, and shit on me. Well, he's not, but that kid didn't go to college. Or he didn't get graduated. Well, it's because he wasn't taught right.
It's also, I think we don't really hold educators to any level of accountability because it's like I had so many teachers that would just write the page number on the board and have the kids do bookwork.
Hey, PP.
And it's like and then teachers will say things like it's such a hard job and they get paid so little when like a third of Americans can't afford like a $400 emergency. And I think there's that kind of like in the same way in America we have this culture of like cops can do no wrong. We kind of have that with our like educational system, and you see scenarios of teachers abusing and mistreating other people's kids.
Yeah.
And the schools just brushes it under the rug and they blame it on the child. Yeah. So I do think that's a problem with our educational system. It's like
I had a kid in my chat room the other day, dude. He was like 15, 16 years, talking about him getting bullied in school and stuff. Said he went to and I said, I said something to him. He said he went to the teachers, and they said there's nothing we can do about it. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean there's nothing you can do about it?
Yeah, well, it's like if
That's
a
silly.
kid's rude
Everyone
to an
everywhere is
educator.
burned out, and the systems are crumbling from the top up. The schools are already messed up because our system is designed to fill a bucket when it should be designed to spark creativity and curiosity.
Yeah.
We should be teaching kids how to think and not what to think.
And schools are worried about their test scores, right? And so they focus on the kids that are making their test scores high, and not the kids that ain't.
Yep. They murdered the shit out of my son's love to read because his teacher figured out that he read at a higher level than the rest of his class, and they drove him into the ground with these stupid reports trying to basically up the curve for the school. And it was crazy. To the point where he was disconnected and he was getting frustrated because the things she ended up giving him ended up beyond his skill level. And then he felt frustrated when he's working at a grade level three grades higher than his own.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, could you bring him back down and let him have a normal school year? Like, I understand he can. That doesn't mean you have to make him.
Yeah, and just because he can doesn't mean that it's healthy for him, you know. Because
she wasn't touching base with him and what he wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And then all the other kids, they focus on these smarter kids, and then the kids that need the teaching don't really get the teaching because they can't. And you want to say, well, that's the teacher's fault. Well, no, it's not really the teacher's fault. It's the school system's fault because the teachers are pushed to do this.
Everybody wants to say, oh, I'm not going out to vote because I don't like the options for president. But what you give up is the chance to have a say in what's going on in your school district. And you can make a difference there. And you should. And this is why.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line. You get what you pay for. And in America, the government would much rather fund fucking skunk works to develop the next fucking tier of fighter jet and pour. If you go and look at what happened with the development of the F-35, that's a fucking abomination. Our country signed up for it, and we're pissing billions of dollars into the breeze on these shitbox fucking planes, right? And they are shitboxes. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. They're shitboxes. You can't fly them near a fucking goddamn thunderstorm because of the electronics on them. They shit themselves. If it gets any hotter than 35 degrees, all of the stealth bays on these fucking things open up to try and cool the electronics down, which instantly renders the stealth fucking capability of the aircraft pointless. And we're paying all of this fucking money for these shit boxes when we should have just been getting FA-18s like we've been using and developing ballistic missile technology. Because here's the problem: to get to Australia, you got to come across a really big ocean. We could just lob shit at you. So this government has seen the wisdom, and we're about to join the world of ballistic missile development. Oh, funnily enough, we're getting nuclear subs from America too. So the pair will go, oh, can't wait. It's going to be great. Then nobody's really going to fuck with Australia, because if we've got a couple of subs cruising around with some intercontinental ballistic missiles, and if anyone thinks we haven't got nukes, like Britain tested their nukes here, of course we have a fucking few of them. Why wouldn't they strategically put some down here? Just saying. Yeah. Just food for thought. I'm not saying that there definitely are, but why wouldn't they put them down here? Makes sense to me anyway. Because they tested them here, Maralinga. It's like there's these lovely etched little marks of people who used to be Aboriginals that seared onto the rock face because they couldn't read the English warning signs about the imminent detonation. Oops. True story. But yeah, missiles. Boom.
It does seem like we'd rather pay for them than for the education of our children.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
It was waste money.
There's one point on it. There was a time a few years ago where there was this alarming statistic. There were 160 publicly funded schools across America that were missing a very essential part of school. I'd say it's the central nexus of a school. It's called a fucking library, where you put these things called books, right? Because books are great because they still work when the internet's not on, and your fucking Kindle fucking thing needs a recharge. You can just go get a book and light a candle, and you can still use the book. Books are a great thing, and this is before ebooks and everything were really taken off, and there was 160 fucking schools with no libraries. And remember that thing they did about the book burning? How that was no shit. 160 public schools in America didn't have libraries in them at all.
Really?
To be fair,
What the hell the fuck do you function as a school?
we have the internet now.
Well,
Where's
yeah,
the-
that's probably that could actually be a decent explanation for it. Is that they were the first schools to cross over into an online network, but books are fucking important, and I think we're going to keep needing to print books, which is why I think books are still way more popular.
He's right, though. Thinking about it, like all of my oldest son's reading materials come online now. Like they do have books,
Yeah.
but they're just the books that, like, it's not like I remember being in school and school had a bunch of copies of anything that they had as required reading. So that's crazy to not have a library, but I guess if you make it available on the internet and everybody, because the schools seem quick to hand out tablets, they gave my son a laptop with no restrictions on it.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and that was in North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I just read everything digitally. Like I have all my books on my phone and stuff. So even when I was in high school, like I never went to the library. I just got all my books online.
Like I'm with you with the money though. Like I really think we have enough minds on it. Like really think about what kind of people you want to churn out in the future. That we have enough research and development and papers written and research to understand what we would need to do in an education system to create those kind of citizens.
You gotta care.
Well, right. But then you could have a 5-year school program for teachers, just like any other 5-year degree, and they could get paid like any other 5-year degree. End of problem. We have a proper education for them, a proper way to actually educate, like have them doing a job that challenges them and the students, and then everybody's got purpose and bada bing, bada boom. We can fix that shit. But if we keep with these factory schools, we have a bunch of dissatisfied kids, a bunch of dissatisfied teachers. Everybody is burning out on every level with, and the rising prices of all the essentials is not helping.
Yeah. Look, you get what you pay for. If you pay a pittance for the people that are going to educate the next generation of your country, which will eventually take over and get the keys to the fucking nukes, keep all of this in mind. You are going to have idiocracy.
All levels of childcare in this country need to be rethought because most of the daycare centers, it's a bunch of like high school kids on summer vacation or kids who just got out of high school that have no formal education in childcare that are running these things, and you're paying a lot of money per week to put your kids in there with these kids that are stealing your kids' medication and all kinds of other shit. And then if your kid runs out, like my brothers went through that. They literally stole the kid's medication, and then they said he couldn't come to the daycare if he didn't have it, but he also can't go to school. Like, so if your kid is diagnosed and prescribed medication, like they have to have that stuff or they can't go to these public spaces. So because they stole it from the daycare and he has to go to school, they ended up not being able to send him to the daycare. So the system is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And you say what we pay them, but when you're taking people and just giving them an entry-level job with no training, like they're going to pay them that way. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand it's a tougher wall to climb to have to go through certifications and training to get these things. But if you did, then it would make it so that we'd have to pay them more. So that's why I would say the same thing with teachers. Like we should have a 5-year degree for them, just like any other 5-year degree, and then pay them as such.
I'm saying in most other like developed countries, like they offer universal daycare, and in the United States, like you were just describing, there are a bunch of high school students, and it costs the same amount for like college tuition or even more. So a lot of parents can't like go into debt because they can't afford daycare for their kids, and then they need to get to work, and it's like, how are you going to get to work when you have a 2-year-old and you need somebody to watch the 2-year-old, but you can't afford it?
That's true.
It's really a balancing, like how much do you make at your job and how much is daycare going to cost? Because a two income household now, one of the incomes, if you've got kids, is it heavily going to paying towards insurances and daycare. And that pretty much between the two is going to wipe one of your salaries out when it comes to adding them together.
Post-World War II. Yeah, post-World War II America, dad could work, mum could stay at fucking home and raise the kids. Dad earned so much money. And that was on an everyday job, too.
Yeah, we're not talking about highly trained jobs. Like any job that was considered an adult's job would pay a man a salary that he could support a family on.
Exactly. And then what happened is that corporations wanted to squeeze more and more and more and more profit out of a finite system. And it's a finite system. They don't think it is for whatever reason, but they come up with new and creative ways to squeeze money out of it. And it's gotten to the point where, hey, we just don't keep up with wages growth and inflation, which is what's happened in Australia too. Which, like right now, my pension's so far behind the 8 ball. It's like they're going to have to boost my pension by probably 6 or 7%, which is an insane amount because that's how much inflation's been over the last 6 months to keep up with it. If wages don't keep up, what happens is mum no longer gets to stay at home with the kids and raise the kids. And I'm not saying this is the way it was, the nuclear family. Mum had to start going get a part-time job because things are getting a little tight. By the 1970s, things are starting to bite. By the 80s, the dream of owning your own affordability for the working class is out the fucking window. And now in Australia...
Yeah, but you could at least back in the 80s and 90s, you could still, early 90s anyway, you could still have latchkey kids. So you didn't have to, you could, two incomes was 2 incomes.
Yeah, but that's now dried up and been gobbled up by fucking
you
inflation.
get your kids taken for you lose your kids for neglect if you did that now.
Well, there's just insane amounts of inflation have made it so houses are really expensive in Australia. Like my house increased in value by over $200,000 in 3 years. That's fucking insane. The property market's about to just blow out here, and it'll probably settle back down to around what I paid for it, which is fine. But if you're a fucking kid working a new job, you're not buying a house because the bank's not giving you a fucking loan for $1 million fucking dollars if you're earning $25 an hour. Here's the crazy bit. There are kids in pet shops right now in Australia earning $30 an hour. My Mrs. sister works in an old age care facility. They pay them $25. Right? A kid in a pet store selling fucking goldfish gets a higher hourly rate than a lady looking after fucking people in a hospice that are fucking passing away. They get there's a big thing of where all of these professions are just bailing out of that to go and find jobs that can pay the fucking bills. So there's going to be a reckoning for wages coming soon in America as well. This is why I would urge Americans to listen to people when they talk about union movements at work. Don't automatically go, oh, you fucking communist. No, it's about your rights as a worker to get paid a decent amount of wages and to work in a safe environment where you don't have to worry about getting your fucking head lopped off by unsafe machinery blowing up in your face.
Shut that shit off.
I'm sorry.
What? When people talk about...
You interrupted the Australian talking there.
I don't usually get phone calls.
That'll be my rant for the day. So, yeah, just be nice if everyone could earn a living. I would like to see a global thing come in where people say we eradicate cheap economic zones where things can get made dirt cheap and you can flood other markets. If everyone got on an even keel around the entire fucking world, wouldn't that be a fucking glorious thing? It's like, oh, he's a globalist. Yeah. I want to see us get together as one big group so we can fuck off into space and go and mine other planets until they're just a husk.
The thing is, like, talking about, like, where do we get the tax money to increase the wages? Like, one of the things is, like, with homeless people, it's like it costs more money to have them homeless than it would to just give them, like, this temporary, like, residence and everything, because they either end up going to the hospital or going to prison and stuff. And it's like you look at how much money we spend on our criminal justice system, sending people away for, like, decades, 3 times the amount of time compared to other countries where they could be rehabilitated. They'd be there for, like, half, a third of the amount of time and be out in society, paying wages again, and then everyone gets a life sentence. So when somebody has a criminal record, they can't find work and they're screwed. And it's like, well, maybe if you improve that kind of social institution, you'd have more people contribute to the system. More people could provide for themselves. Less taxpayer money would be going into, like, a money sink. Like we're wasting money having people being homeless. We're wasting money having all these people in prison. And we can invest more of that money paying teachers and other, like, bureaucrats more.
You're not wasting money. There's people making a fucking lot of money off these people in prison because they only have to pay them. In some states, it's around $1 a fucking hour in and they're making fridges for fucking Westinghouse. They're making Kevlar fucking vests and ballistic fucking helmets and shit for the army, right? They've got no interest. The government's got no interest in doing it because they're getting cheap shit, right? And they get to funnel in the fucking labor. They get to create the fucking laws, right? It's a beautiful machine. Why is the government going to come along and fuck that up? They're part of it.
I don't know, John Jones. I didn't know he did, but it's okay if he does.
I've been watching Keep That Fried with Scotty and stuff. I've never heard him mention you or say anything about you.
This idiot's trying to dredge up that holiday show. Deal with it, dude. It's the past.
That wasn't even me.
Is this still about the pizza?
I could use a pizza right now.
Don't bring up pizza. I'm going to end up ordering one.
What are you going to order?
What, are we bringing up beef from fucking 5 years ago that didn't actually exist? What's going on?
I don't know, and I don't care. I mean, I don't think he's got a vibe. I don't think he's got a
Oh,
If he does, I mean, he can always
you can reach
he
out
can
and say,
contact me and we can talk. You know what I mean? But I don't have a problem with him whatsoever. And I don't do dramas.
Used to us.
So, yeah, I mean, I've not heard any. That's the first time I've heard any of that. So yeah. Anyways. It's John Morgan's fault, whatever it is.
It's always John Morgan's fault.
We got 7 minutes left of the show.
Dun, dun, dun.
Take 3 less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're smart.
You're smart.
I'm going to go and dig up some dirt and murder some plants, and it's going to be great. No, it's not. It's going to suck.
Why did you bury dirt? I like dirt.
Not when you got to dig tree stumps out of the dirt that have been growing in the dirt for like 20 years, and the roots travel several fucking feet. And
how dare you disrupt your planty friends?
I murdered the shit out of an entire garden bed. I wiped it the fuck out. Everything died except a couple of bromeliads. I killed it. The pretty creeper vine that flowered the purple flowers, dead. The other creeper, fucking dead. Aloe vera, dead. All
you
of
killed
it.
aloe?
Yeah, murdered the shit out of it. Got on my road, looked at me funny. Fucking killed it. All green things must die.
How dare you?
The Sheen has ordained it, therefore it shall be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Epic winning. 7 gram rocks. Gonna start a religion based around Charlie Sheen and that whole 7 gram rocks of winning thing. It's like if Christians can do it, so can I.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Make our place of worship an outdoor kitchen.
And your kitchen.
Yeah.
There's.
I've got to go back and watch that skit. Like, that is genuinely one of the funniest fucking things on the internet to this day, is that whole Charlie Sheen winning, him just acting like a complete nutter crackhead to get out of his contract and get a big payout. It's like, the man's a fucking genius. Smartest dude in Hollywood. It's like, how do I get out of my contract? Well, I designed the contract that if I start acting like a nutter, they'll sack me, but they still have to pay me. So he just went, I'm going to start taking a lot of crack cocaine now. And he did.
I like crack. No, I don't.
No.
Raisin does, though.
You know who's... What about Emilio Estevez? Has he been doing anything last God knows how long? Yeah, HIV. Here's the thing about that now. I've had a friend that's been HIV positive for 20 plus years. There's medication that will... It's not a death sentence anymore.
I have a friend who's like HIV negative.
Well, that's good.
Just one?
Yeah, several.
Like, I was expecting that I would have been to my friend's funeral long ago, but apparently medication breakthroughs they're got to be very careful, and they've got to go for constant monitoring and careful infection. But it's no longer the automatic death sentence it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The whole HIV thing, that's it just proves how dedicated he was to selling the crazy concepts. They're going to really think I'm crazy if I actually get HIV. Sells it. Method acting, the extreme version, maybe.
That's it.
Meth acting. Leave Charlie alone. He's the high priest of my church now.
He's
Hey,
some.
Troy.
Hey, yeah. What's up, J. Troy Doe?
All praise be to the hallowed 7-gram rock of winning.
Well, good Lord.
Oh yeah. The Church of the
Church of
Tiger's
Tiger
Blood.
yeah.
Yep. It's the holy house of the Tiger's Blood, mate. You've nailed it. You're in. You're a priest. Congratulations.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and end it here.
Yeah. Pimp wants to end this insanity before it gets worse.
Yeah.
We only got like 2 shows left. You're gonna end this one early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't he mean? He's meaner than Mean Gene.
Why let's end?
Yeah.
Why in tradition?
Yeah. It's like we've been phoning this shit in for ages now. Oh, we're going to stop doing that.
The last episode's gonna be like 20 minutes.
No,
Troy
probably-
just got here.
It's probably like more like 5 minutes. Like, well,
Be like the first episode, the first next week's will be 5 minutes, and he'll be like, you know what? We ain't even gonna have a Thursday show.
Yeah.
What's up, fuckers?
That may happen. You never know. But so you better watch. Anyways, fuck John Morgan.
Yeah, that's not
Right
nice.
here?
do I
I don't
have to?
want- I don't want AIDS.
Yeah.
HIV. It's HIV. I like how they say H.
HIV.
They put the H in the hay.
Got a
Z.
H and
H and
Z
Z.
and the Zs and all of that shit.
Yeah.
It's like I am determined to teach Mrs. Parker how to say aluminium correctly. It's not aluminum. It's aluminium.
Well, you have to show her how to spell it.
I do.
If
I
she
get in her
spells
chat.
it right, then
I
she'll
get in
understand
her.
how to
I'll
say
show you in chat. I get in her
It's-
chat and I go
it's
al.
aluminum. It's aluminum. It's aluminum.
it. But if you spell it the way they spell it, then you have to say it the way they say it.
See,
Is
look, in chat,
aluminium-
look.
That's in like
Aluminium. How,
that's
Right.
like an X
Write it
Men.
like the way you would
Fucking-
normally spell it. Spell it the way
That's-
you normally spell it.
that's just how you normally spell it. That's
No,
why
how
you
do
say
you
it like
normally
that.
spell it?
Like that. I just did.
When you
How
write
you
it down,
mean
that's
like
how
that?
you normally write
That's how
it.
you spell it.
That's not how we spell it.
Well, you're just doing it wrongs.
Well, isn't aluminium like? Isn't that like what? Isn't Wolverine's like that's his aluminium skeleton or something?
Oh no,
Nah,
it's
he has
adamantium.
is adamantium. You
Fucking
Adamantium?
adamantium.
it's
Okay.
unobtainium, John. You ninny. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
John, you dumbass. Oh,
And then
no.
vibranium is what's like the Wakandans and
Y'all
American
shut
people.
up. We're ending the show. Now it's almost exact time to end, and I want to end it early.
Yeah, no dice. Can't happen. Too late. We just made up. We used up the
Fuck
time.
with you people.
Haha. Order
Alright,
yourself a
guys.
bag of dicks and eat them.
I like this.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said order a bag of them.
Bye.
Bye.
Easter peoples.
Raisin.